Test debut against Great Britain. Is any indication he still is that kid? Could you please welcome Willie Mason? Were you a big kid playing footy, or did you have a sudden growth spurt?
No, I was a little skinny fullback back in my Toronto days when I was younger. Then I grew when I was about 16, 17, about a foot.
Overnight?
Put on about 15 kilo, I think. Same as my brother, I think. He was a bit chubby, but I was always the skinny one. He was always the chubby one. And sort of grew at the same time. When he was 16 going on 17, then I was 16 going on 17, 18.
The Sound of Music age. Because he was talking about playing fullback. The scary thing about somebody your size is you're actually pretty quick, aren't you, as well?
Yeah, I didn't play forwards, and in the forwards till I was about 16, 17, so I was a little fast, little skinny fella.
Do you play golf?
No.
No, I didn't think so either. Well, that's the one sport I'm going to play.
Yeah.
Now, the Bulldogs are travelling beautifully. Let's just have a little look of you in action at the weekend. Here we go with the big run. And nice step too there, fella. Now, what's happening here?
Because you're talking about two fellows that don't get involved in this sort of stuff.
It's a beautiful thing. The muck around fight.
Yeah. I like the plats too. Who did them?
My sister. Yeah.
Was that because blokes were pulling it in tackles?
No, no one pulls it.
Why not?
I don't know.
Have you seen him standing up?
Willie, I've got to ask, does that haircut come with pool cleaning equipment? I'm sure I've seen you in a video. Mrs. Johnson, your top seems to have fallen off.
Did you put it in the plats to be more unobtrusive on the field? Were they finding you a bit too easily, were they?
No, I was just bored. I get bored on game day. I got too much time to waste, so I said, I just whacked the video and said to me, sister, can you do me hair? Because it wastes a couple of hours.
Yes, but that's an interesting thing with, full-time professionalism when you're playing footy. Is it boring? Have you got too much time on your hands?
It is and it isn't. Like, I think that's why a few players get a few gambling problems and that, I think. A bit too much money, a bit too much spare time, but I think it's up to you to occupy your time. A lot of players do a lot of courses and stuff like that, so it's really up to you. But it is a lot of spare time.
And it mightn't be widely known, but you were offered a rugby union contract at the beginning of the year. Why did you turn it down? Why did you say no?
I more or less said no because I don't really know how to play union.
You don't need to be able to play rugby. Just ask Wendell.
That same reason didn't stop Tony Mundine starting to box, did it?
Oh, hello. Put you together.
But say in a couple of years, well, first of all, what's your attitude to players who make the switch, like Lottie Takiri? Are you disappointed they go?
I think Lottie's he's really come on the scene the last couple of years and he's been killing it. Probably the best winger in the world, probably at the moment. And he went over there just to see what it was like, probably playing the World Cup next year, and I think he'll be back in a couple of years, personally, yeah.
And if you were enticed in a couple of years, if you found something about the game, how to play...
Like a book.
Maybe if you found a book or something, how to play.
I mean, would you be interested down the track at all?
Yeah, I would. I told him that. I said maybe in a couple of years, 3 or 4 years, if I've accomplished everything I want to do in rugby league, maybe then I'll have a look at it.
Right, one of the things you obviously have accomplished is playing for Australia. Let's have a little look at you from the Test match. On the inside there, over for a try on debut. Well done. Now this next bit is my absolute favourite when you run through this side. It's brilliant.
Newton plays hooker in Sinfield, but he's come on at half-back.
Here we go. Were they very frightened, the Great Britain side?
I don't know. I think most of our guys were in camp all week a little bit, not scared, but a little bit worried about him because it's a one-off test and we thought they'd come out with their strongest squad and just be real fired up, and guys like Barry McDermott and Terry O'Connor and that, just to come out and just start a stink or something like that with our boys. So everyone was ready for that, and the media kept saying they're going to blow it out 40-0 and stuff like that, and no one even thought about that in camp. We thought we'd come out and they'd be fired up for the first 20 or something like that if Webke and Risley and that did their job, and Big Steve-O, and So and then it was up to the backs like Joey and Baz and all that to do all the rest.
But were you, given that you hadn't played the State of Origin and the other guys who had been toiling around there, how surprised were you when you got the call up for the Australian side?
I was very surprised. I was at home on I think Sunday night, hungover, and just getting over it. And Bob Hagan called me, and I knew the Test team was getting selected, but I didn't really worry him because I thought, no way, I'm in for a chance here.
Yeah.
I didn't really consider it, and he rang and said, I've got some good news for you. My mum and that was down, and all the kids and that, because they stay at my house when I play, and I was just surprised. I couldn't believe it. I was wrapped.
Now tell us about, back to the Doggies, you've won 15 in a row, and there's been a lot of sort of, as every win, you notch up another win, there's been a lot of conjecture about just how you're dealing with that as a team, and how do you deal with it mentally? Because you've broken a club record, or you're close to breaking the all-time record, isn't it, of 19 wins?
Yeah.
Just amazing.
I think Steve Folkes and Kevin Moore have done a great job because they keep us focused on just the game at hand. Like, we play the Knights this week, we don't worry about, we're going to try and win 16 in a row. We just concentrate on the Knights, and we're pretty confident now that we can beat every team. So we just go into the game just trying to win.
You've got a few injuries though this week, haven't you? A few players out.
Yeah, a few key players. I think Willie Talaia's been in great form, and same as Travis Norton, Adam Perry and Glenn Hughes all be out. So, but we've got a lot of depth, and it'll be a good opportunity to see some young blokes get a run.
Is Newcastle the best of the other sides that you've played so far, or Brisbane?
I think the Broncos and the Knights are going to be the biggest threat, and the Warriors. So it'll be a good test, especially up there. So.
And you're surprised to see Parramatta go the way they're going at the moment, not quite up where everyone thought they'd be?
I think there was a fair bit of pressure on at the start of the year, to win the comp pretty easy. They were paying, I don't know, $3 or something to win the comp. And,
not that you should know, not that you should know that.
In the paper the other day.
You were talking to some George players, weren't you?
One of the Dragons told me.
Excuse me, Willie, you mentioned before being hungover. When a big bloke like you gets a bit boisterous on the beers, how the hell does a bouncer go about asking you to leave the scene?
I'm low-key, mate. I don't go. I'm just pretty relaxed when I'm drunk.
Well, I mean, look, you're sick of talking about the hair, and you'd be a great player if you were bald. But is there a thing with the media and the kind of the shallowness of the media, including us, that do players look for gimmicks? I mean, to get themselves on the telly?
No, not really. I just grew the hair because...
I'm not saying you. I'm talking about other players.
Oh, other players?
Yeah.
Nah. Not that I know of.
Well, because your club has a history of great hair. Have a look at this.
Yeah.
There's Jeff Robinson and George Paponis. Look at that head.
That's great. I'm going to grow a beard.
Hey, Willie, how does it feel when you're actually playing in a team that's obviously the premiership front runner? Like, you look like you're the favourites at the moment to win the premiership, and you can't get a home crowd. I mean, what can you do? Because I went out there recently and there was a crowd, it was a really good game, it was a big game, it was a Saturday night, and you got 6,000 people there. It's just really, it's sort of quite upsetting, I would have thought.
I think, in fairness to the crowds, we're getting the time slot of like Saturday on like a 5:30. Yeah. I think people, a lot of people have got Fox, and a lot of people just rather watch it in the pub and sit out in the cold and stuff like that. But we had a good crowd on Friday night. We had 15,000 there, so it was good.
Yeah. All right, well, look, all the best with crowds and with the rest of the season and your representative career as well. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Please thank Willie Mason, ladies and gentlemen.